welcome everyone to the long-awaited episode 16 of the LODcast. Can I get a round of applause from the audience? Yeah! Woo! We did it. How long has it been since episode 15?
Since October of last year. Yeah, last year, before the epidemic of 2020 began.
Alright.
So, guys, at the end of 2020, I hear God has 2020 Part 2 planned.
2020 Part 2? Like, God, I hope he releases PC too. Anyways, bad jokes aside, how about we go through how everyone's last few months have been. We'll start with the one and only Mr. Big E, who's gonna... By the way, we're gonna all reintroduce ourselves here, because I think it'd be easier just to refer to ourselves as our names going forward. Plus, Big E did his reveal, but I'll let him go first. So how's your week been?
Well, hello. My name is Big E15, aka my name's Eric. For the last few months, I've been really just doing nothing but gaming all this whole time. I've been working and gaming and trying to just get everything done. Basically, I'm a chance 1,000 subs, which was nice.
Nice.
And now I'm on vacation, so I'm doing this on my vacation right now. But I just got back. But yeah,
Where'd
what about you?
go?
I went to up north in my state to a big giant lake, and it was awesome.
Very nice.
Pass it off to Mr. Cueyo so he can introduce himself with a new name.
Oh, thank you there. Well, I think everyone but Eric here knows my actual name. Actually, Eric already knows my actual name. But,
Do you know your name? Yeah.
So I'm going to reintroduce myself again. So I'm probably still going to go by Cueyo because I say it so much. But my actual name's Hashir, right? Or Matt here calls me Hash. I don't really care what anyone calls me, as long as it just sounds vaguely like my name. But yeah, my past few months have been pretty wild. Maybe I'll say it in the podcast. Maybe I'll elaborate. But yeah, I've changed like the style of my channel from just being weekly stuff to whenever the hell I'm done. Because God, does it get grating if you do it so much. Yeah, I'm working on things. Things are happening. Life's changing. Gotta love Corona. I'll pass it off to a good old friend of mine who just so happens to be my brother. Take it away, Mr. Tox. Reintroduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am Tox. I am the most amazing person here. No matter what Cueyo would have you believe.
Not even using my real name, well.
My name is Talha, and I do YouTube sometimes. Maybe 2 months ago. Other than that, I haven't really done much. This whole lockdown thing has kind of made me a shut-in. I've been playing a lot of Elder Scrolls Online, so yeah, that's about it.
They call that what's the word when you don't leave? I forgot the word. English is hard. It's only my first language.
So yeah, and then we'll pass it off to Matt here. Sorry, Green Goblin. I don't want to break his introduction. He was on as a guest a while back, but I'll let him take it away. He's here as a trial host.
Yeah, so I'm Matt. I don't do YouTube because I don't know how. But what I've been doing for like the past couple months has been just playing games. So
Praising the Lord.
I've been playing a lot of RL Craft, which is it's a Minecraft mod. It's pretty fun. Playing a lot of Valorant. I'm playing a lot of Valorant.
Don't forget praising the Lord again.
And praising the Lord. And,
God's not dead, he's surely alive, living on the inside, roaring like a lion.
Yeah. Wait, did you see my tweet about that the other day?
I did, actually.
Name the best sequel ever.
God's Not Dead 2. Yeah, no, okay, that's an inside joke of ours. We watched the entire God's Not. They killed Jude. Yeah, we watched the entire God's
Don't
Not
get me
Dead
started.
trilogy. So now we
Don't
just
get me
talk about that.
started.
Yeah, if that's everything we have to say, we can dive right into the topics of the podcast.
Yeah.
Since we don't have a guest, technically, I'll pass it off to Eric to introduce. By the way, the podcast's been a little reformatted because I take this as a soft reboot because it's been a long time. We don't really discuss lore as much. Most of the stuff we do now is just general gaming and news. So instead of a lore section, we're not going to have that. We're just going to extend the part where we talk about different topics. So yeah, I'll give it off to Eric to go into general internet stuff and news.
So if you guys don't really remember, we typically pick just random subjects, typically, moments before we record, and we talk about them. So today we'll be getting with the death of Mixer, and which is actually kind of relevant for me because I sort of used Mixer. I really only used it to record on Xbox, but yeah, we could go off into that. Who wants to start with that?
Well, all right.
I
So
only have one comment for that, actually. Guys, what is Ninja going to do now that Mixer is gone?
yeah, that's the reason I actually
He went to YouTube Gaming, didn't he?
Yeah, it's meant to. Yeah, I think so.
I was seeing a lot of memes about Ninja crying with a wad full of money.
He's gonna use the Discord live stream.
No, but so the reason I put it down actually was because I was watching Tech Linked, my favorite YouTube tech news channel, by Linus from Linus Tech Tips. Please, Linus, notice us. We're very small. I'll do anything to get featured. Anyways, I was watching that and I found out about that. I don't know if it was Tencent. Oh yeah, Tencent was basically going. You know who Tencent is, right? Anyone? Alright, so since no one knows what Tencent is, they're this giant Chinese, mega corporation. They're just a giant corporation that's full of investors.
They sound really familiar.
Yeah, they own League of Legends, they own Riot, they own they own a lot of stuff in general. So
Yeah.
what they were doing was
I just remembered them because they're making their own Cyberpunk 2077 now.
oh, very cool.
They're literally making their own version.
For Chinese release. As it should be. But we won't get into China on this podcast today.
We already did.
God damn it, now we're banned. Yeah, no, so basically they were going around after the death of Mixer, I guess, and they were going to, big streamers. I think they also, hit up Ninja and... Who's the other guy who's on there for, literally a month? Shroud, yeah, they went to Shroud. And they're like, hey, you guys want to come to our competitor? We made a competitor, it's called Trovo Live. I put that down there because I would not remember it. And they're, trying to get people to go there and stream for the Chinese audience. And I don't know, I thought it was pretty interesting. Mixer was this they're doing exactly what Mixer was doing. So they're trying to get streamers who are big to come to their platform. I don't know if it'll work though. It's interesting because Twitch did all this pretty naturally and Mixer tried their best with millions of dollars. Ninja ended up Ninja and Shroud ended up just running away with money.
Yeah, they did nothing to help boost their overall streaming service.
Yeah, no, I just feel like is there ever gonna be a competitor to Twitch? Are we ever gonna see something
Probably
that's
not.
good enough?
Realistically,
What do y'all think? I want to hear your thoughts. Also, what do you guys think happened to Dr. Disrespect?
I don't know. I haven't watched that video. I didn't see
no idea what the
that.
actual details are. I've been hearing so many rumors, and I have no idea what the actual story is behind that.
I think it's financial stuff. That's what I hear going around. Because what I saw, right when it happened, all the sponsors pulled out because they were probably oh no, he probably did something bad, let's all pull out. And then the next day, they all went back.
What did you expect?
Exactly. They knew what they were getting.
What was he? Was he caught diddling kids again? Wait, sorry, not again.
Oh no!
The last time he was banned.
We're going with this.
You gotta say allegedly, otherwise you can get in trouble.
All the sponsors they showed back up the next day. So
interesting, because he said he's like he was going to YouTube now. So interesting.
YouTube gaming is actually becoming quite large. Like I was actually thinking about going to YouTube gaming. Like all this is done. Obviously, we all work on YouTube in a sense. So I mean, I don't know. I was thinking about jumping on that whole bandwagon thing just because, like, get on it while you can.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather stream where I have my audience, because like it just feels. I feel like I don't know. I don't know how well they're integrated with OBS. So that's like my only issue. Because otherwise, I would only stream on YouTube because that's just where everything is for me.
Hey, I have a couple other YouTubers outside of you guys that I stream via YouTube, and they do quite well with it. So I might as well try to get there too.
I have a legitimate question about the whole Mixer thing. Does anyone know if there were any other big names with Mixer aside from like Shroud and Ninja?
There were a couple. I don't really know off any of the top of my head because I don't really watch streams, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't really watch streams either.
I remember when it was announced, the whole thing with, Ninja's leaving Twitch, it was a huge thing for like a week, and then nobody talked about Mixer after that.
Right. The thing is with Mixer, it was very convenient and it was very user-friendly, in my opinion, and to be honest, it did seem like it was going to be quite a nice rival to Twitch, because it finally gave, some sort of competition. But now that there's so many things coming up and like challenging it, it wasn't growing quick enough.
So would you think it has to do with them not marketing it properly? Because like I said, they didn't talk about it. Nothing got brought up. There were no events or anything.
I do think it's completely that whole thing. Nobody talked about Mixer. I never seen any ads for Mixer. I never seen anything really. It was just kind of like there, and I feel like the only place they advertised it was on like the Xbox, which is cool, but like you need to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's owned by Microsoft. It doesn't really.
You think they would, advertise it more, since Microsoft is like one of the biggest companies.
I saw more goddamn ads for Google Stadia than I did for
I've been
Mixer.
seeing like a revamp. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen a definite revamp in their fucking advertisements, and it's just like, holy shit, Stadia, chill the fuck out. We know you're dead. Stop talking.
Back. No, it's coming back.
It's coming back. It's
We could spend an entire episode talking about the pitfalls of Stadia.
Oh god.
I'm just gonna say this really quickly. If they had account management stuff with Steam, and you could play games that you already own on Steam on Stadia.
No, they had a huge problem with that, because like they did that initially. I mean, no, they didn't. Nvidia did, but with their Nvidia whatever thing, where like you could stream games that you owned, and all the game companies and publishers just pulled out. They're like, nope, sorry, those people need to buy the game again on your platform. And yeah, the game publishers are just assholes about that. They don't want people to like.
I mean, let's be honest. Market systems like that, they feel like they're entitled to our money.
Well, I feel like you're right about that, and it's definitely like a problem. But I think this is definitely a conversation for another time. But
actually, I'm going to bring this up later when we talk about the topic that I've chosen. I will bring it up, but I am going to very quickly say, for the most part, a lot of consumeristic companies, for instance, the gaming and certain media platforms like, let's say, television, they do feel that they're entitled to your money because people don't, speak up or not buy bad games.
Oh no, definitely. It's. I don't even know if it's not buying bad games or anything. There's a lot of nuance to it, but like you said, we'll get to it. Speaking of platforms, I think we should move this along. Does anyone else have anything else to say about the death of our old friend Mixer? So yeah, the PS5 was announced, and they had like their entire announcement trailer. All right, I don't know how much y'all like the look of the PS5, but the announcement trailer was way better than Microsoft's, in my opinion.
I didn't watch Microsoft's.
I didn't watch either.
But,
I know what I'm getting. I already know what I'm getting.
Are we still in the dark about that?
About what?
PS5. Do we know, or are we still in the dark?
We still don't know.
Yeah, we
should really let us know.
It's getting kind of to that point where like, hey, you should probably do this.
It's second half of this year, and it comes out holiday of this year, so...
One of you guys just tell us a price.
Yeah, honestly. Well, I think it's... I saw this joke on Twitter, but like... They're definitely... Microsoft's waiting for Sony, and Sony's waiting for Microsoft. They're like, oh, you guys better price it high. We're gonna lowball you. We're gonna sell more systems.
Thing with the PlayStation 5, into this generation of consoles, I got a PlayStation 4 first. Eventually, 2 years later, I got a 1. And all the people who are sitting there, I can't even say all people, I would say virtually most people who sit there, exclusives don't mean shit. You're saying that because your exclusives are dog shit. Well, that's the only reason you're saying that. If your exclusives were great, cough cough like the Xbox 360, oh, Halo 3 was great, oh, Gears of War 2 was great, oh, Forza 4 or Horizon were great. Yeah, and you ain't hearing that now because Xbox exclusives have done
yeah.
And I'm coming from this because I bought an Xbox purely for exclusives, and only one I found virtually any good was State of Decay 2. That being said, Xbox has shot themselves in the foot, regardless of whatever Xbox fanboys or whatever you guys want to think, shot themselves in the foot. With all their games being virtually available for the PC, okay, I'm just going to upgrade my PC. Now I get every Xbox game and my PC games on top of that. Why am I going to go spend anywhere from $600 to $900 on an Xbox Series X, and I can just upgrade my PC and then play all the Xbox games plus all the PC? That's my whole thing with them. So I'll grab a PS5 for exclusives, and that'll be it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, and I also feel like that's where they fucked up royally last generation. Because you remember do you guys remember the PS4 announcement thing versus the Xbox Ones?
Oh yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, because like Xbox was like, oh, it's not about the games, it's about TV.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna get Steven Spielberg to make a Halo show, and then that never happened.
Yeah, no, they fucked themselves over because they dropped like all their they made all. They made Rare make the Xbox like Kinect games. Yeah, but no, they really did mess themselves up, and that's where I think they definitely, I don't know if they did better, but they definitely didn't make that same pitfall in the new announcement trailer. Because at least they did not show a single new game except for like the trailer for Halo that was an exclusive. Like, they showed Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay, and that was like it. I think from their gameplay thing.
Valhalla will come out for everything.
Yeah.
It'll be PS5 and PC too.
So they're still not showing off the one thing they need to show off to save their goddamn system. Like, look at the PS5 launch stuff. They had like how many games? Like 7 and 8, 9, and all of them looked pretty damn good. Like, I was pretty... Not to mention, like, they're showing off the fact that they had ray tracing, they had, like, all these new features. Yes, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X is, like, superior in hardware to the PlayStation 5. But what's the point of superior hardware? This is the same story with, like, the Xbox One X. In that, like, you can have better hardware, but it's not going to save the fact that you have no exclusives. Even though the Xbox One had worse hardware than the PS4.
I mean, I don't know. The hardware, again, it comes down to the same thing. People would sit there and say, oh, hardware doesn't matter. It's like, what do you mean hardware doesn't matter? If you had better hardware, you would boast about it too. I think Xbox keeps trying to do things. They just need to move on from the one. focus on your next plan. Stop pouring millions and millions of dollars into other projects and resources, especially things like, when Mixer died, Mixer's been long dead. They've known that Mixer was dead, and yet they keep, like, eating the dead horse. Like, maybe we can just get it to go a little bit longer. And it's
Yeah.
like, I just spent millions of dollars just trying to get 2 exclusive streamers, and then spent millions of dollars on the whole company itself, and now gone.
Yeah, it's now that you mention it too, like the name Xbox Series X. Did you hear like their reasoning for why they went with Series X and not just like Xbox 2? So the reason they went with it was like, we want people to walk into. This is verbatim what they said. We want people to walk into a store, and they want the new Xbox. They don't have to say, I want the Xbox One X. They can just say, I want the Xbox, and we'll give them the Series X. Like, what? What kind of reasoning is that?
Confused already.
Yeah.
The original Xbox?
Wouldn't they get it even? Wouldn't they understand it by default at the store?
Like, old people don't buy consoles like that. They're gonna be like,
Yeah, like you walk into a GameStop and you like, do you really go in and you're like, hey, can I go buy an Xbox One game? Like, no, I walk in and say, hey, can I get an Xbox game?
I want.
I know what you're talking about.
I usually just ask, hey, y'all got this game? And then it'll be like, yeah, what system, bro?
And not even that. Like, you usually just walk in and buy the game you want by looking for it. If they don't have it, you walk up.
I'm just gonna make a correction for all of you. I just go on my whatever console or PC I'm gonna buy something on. I buy it, and then it downloads before it comes out, and then I just play it.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, no one actually like.
I'm completely honest, I actually don't know the last time I went to a store to buy a game.
I think that I did it for Ghost of Tsushima, actually.
You went to GameStop?
No,
I didn't do that. I just
Target.
downloaded it because I knew I was going on vacation. So I was like, I'm going to download this while I'm on vacation and play it.
but like their reasoning for why they didn't make a better name, they could have chosen any other name. Why did they go with Series X? You're gonna confuse so many people. But yeah, does anyone else have anything else to say about PS5?
I'm pretty sure the exclusives are going to be good because PS4 sold me on all theirs for the most part. So if they're just going to like make sequels to that, you probably got me there.
In hell, with their announcement trailer, they already announced that Ratchet and Clank's coming back, and then they're getting that Miles Morales Spider-Man, which looks amazing.
See, I think PS5 has already won the console war for this generation.
Because literally all Xbox said was, we got Halo, but then
Yeah, Master Chief's back, yo, and he looks kind of like he did from the first trilogy. You guys like that?
it's probably listen. The last Halo game sucked. I didn't play it, but it looked like they just keep trying to make it like the stereotypical first-person shooter, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, they added sprint, and that's kind of what ruined it, in my opinion.
The last good
Sprint is what ruined it.
Sprint, not anything else. Absolutely sprint. What? Spartans don't run. They're super soldiers. They just walk a little faster. Disgusting.
Just walk faster.
But anyways, that out of the way. Let's move on to the next one, Matt. You wrote this one down. You want to talk about it?
Valorant. It's out, and
The thing.
it's a thing, and everyone's comparing it to Overwatch and everything.
But it's not Overwatch. It's a
It's not
CS:GO.
Overwatch. Yeah, exactly. CS:GO with abilities. But so now it's like a big game, and it was made for esports. So I don't know, because it's like a mixed bag with everybody. Some people think it's going to be like a fad, where Valorant's just going to be like a thing for like this year, and then it's just going to be Overwatch League, CS:GO, and then everything else back to the way it was. Not because I really like Valorant and I played it a lot, and I think it's a lot of fun.
See, I don't think it's just a fad. So, I don't know if this is a popular or unpopular opinion, but I think Overwatch competitive, like since day one, was forced. Like, League of Legends, on the other hand, and CS:GO, and like all those other games, they're like, they don't feel forced. Like, I feel like competitive communities
became competitive.
Yeah, they became competitive by themselves. It's not even like it was forced in any way, but Overwatch, they literally pulled away like I think a year or two of development time just to make the systems for like viewing and stuff in that game. You know how like CS:GO does their competitive matches? They just spectate the person who's playing. Overwatch has a spectator system to like go and hover around people with like a free cam. It's and the weird thing is like I've never seen League of Legends competitive, and for those of you who don't know, I have like 2,000-ish hours on League of Legends, mostly from my past, but
what a virgin.
Yes, you were completely right.
Are you on an Overwatch competitive team?
Yeah, me and Matt both are. Yeah.
Were.
Wow, what a bunch of versions.
Yeah,
I'm actually Overwatch at this the state of the game. Basically, I'm just so done with it because whenever the meta changes, it's just I lose interest so easily.
I feel like that's like a symptom of just Blizzard recently.
Because like I go back and I'm like, oh, I like to play McCree, and then McCree ends up sucking. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll learn this character. And then I go back, and then I stop playing for like maybe a month. And then I go back to play that one character, and then they're completely nerfed. And then they buff Genji, so you can barely play the game now. And then Valorant has, I think they have 10 agents right now. And I want them to keep a really small like character roster because it's easier to balance. Because you have like, how many characters in Overwatch? 30?
Yeah, it's definitely grown a lot since it came out.
So like it's impossible to like balance that and like have like a perfectly balanced game to play when Valorant has like realistic amount of characters that can be buffed or nerfed, and updates come out like frequently.
Yes, see, and like I was saying earlier, I feel like this is all just in terms of Overwatch at least. I feel like it's just a symptom of Blizzard recently, because Blizzard really has just gone down the shithole. Like, I remember when they used to be like a super respected developer. See, I wasn't.
Activision came in.
Yeah, then Activision like just stuck their little wee inside them, and ever since then it's just been overpriced games, shit tons of monetization. Hell, Overwatch was the game that made loot boxes normal, in my opinion. And I don't know, it's really depressing just to look at it, but at least with Valorant, I think it will in terms of esports.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna do well. It seems like it's a game that people want to play, and like even like I'll open it up at like midnight sometimes and be like, time to get good.
I don't know. You gotta give it a little bit of time, I think, especially because when did it come out?
Really recently, like a month ago, I think.
It's like
a month ago.
Get other games like take that like Fortnite and then Apex, right? Apex came out, everyone's like, oh, that's it, Fortnite's dead, right? It's done. And we're now just seeing like Fortnite be like, all right, is it really dead now, kind of thing. But Apex itself, like, it has a steady fan base, but it took a long time for Fortnite to come down. So regardless of which, the issue I think that Valorant's got to face and they got to pick up is the fact that they already have a competitor that's established and people aren't just going to turn away from it, which is CSGO. People love CSGO, and it's going to take a lot to get people out of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. Because
you're gonna have to undo all the Russians that play CSGO in life.
Literally every CS:GO player I know, all they say is like, "Oh, it's a shitty game. I don't like it." But like, they play it. But like, that's just like the CS:GO player mentality.
Yeah, get good, bro. Learn how to fucking control sprays. Jet's shit.
Yeah. Legit in comp.
But yeah, no, it's wild.
Speaking of wild, no E3.
Oh, Matt, thank you. You transitioned. That's exactly how we do transitions here.
You know what?
There was E3.
No E3 is fine.
Yeah, no, honestly, no E3s.
But no
E3's been dying for a long
no
time
cringe.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing I'll miss. I'll miss like the really cringy things, like when what's his name?
All this EA Play in Ubisoft.
Yeah, like that guy from YouTube, the Jesse guy, who like the teleprompter wasn't working, so he started like this, like laughing.
Yeah.
He was like,
Need for Speed comeback. I'm a YouTube content creator. I just want to thank my boy Nick, who made Need for Speed come back. I miss it so much.
See, while we don't need E3, I feel like at this point, it's just a really big part of the industry. Like, I need E3, but I don't need it to learn about my games. Like, when Nintendo pulled out, I felt like it was a pretty big loss. Like, we won't ever get that weird, awkward dancing and playing instruments on stage anymore with, like, the Wii remotes.
I mean, I think it's smart just to have the directs because they're really simplistic and they don't have all the stupid gimmicks like Ubisoft.
But I'll miss Sony and that guy playing his little whistle thingy for Ghost of Tsushima, like, on stage.
The guy with the banjo.
I don't know. It's 3 has been long dying. Like you said, Nintendo pulled out, and now PlayStation has their own little thing, and I'm pretty sure Microsoft does too. It's
They'll
just like
do directs.
I honestly think
it's so.
the whole E3 thing is just pointless, to be honest. That's my
I don't know.
Well, they opened it up to the public because it was probably dying. So they opened it up to the public like a couple of years ago. But at this point, like, this kind of how they should just do it right now is probably just have a bunch of directs, and then if you want critics to like play your games, just like send game copies or however they did it with this.
I mean, let's be real. The way that the industry works with game copies is if a critic is critical of their game, they're not going to let the critic have the game copy. So,
Yeah.
what's the point of critics in gaming, anyways?
I know Ubisoft did it a certain way. They used a program recently in order for people to play Watch Dogs Legion and the new Assassin's Creed. They used a program so they didn't have the game, but they kind of had like this program that Ubisoft used. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah,
that's
where like you can get in the program and they let you like play the game for a certain amount of time or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they did that with Andromeda when
Well, that's just like one company. I'm talking about like the industry as a whole. The way that they do critiques is if you're if you talk negative about their game, then there's a high chance you're never going to be able to critique another game.
it's the industry doesn't have to foster your opinion of their game being negative.
I'm just saying it's poor. It's a poor way to market a game because you're essentially gatekeeping anyone who has an opinion, which is the point of critiquing.
That said, I think you're jumping the gun there, Mr. Talks. I think while it's a great loss that we don't have it this year, I hope it returns. Like, I still want to go to an E3. I haven't ever been to an E3. I want to go.
I do definitely want to go.
Bold of you to assume that anything will ever open up. I already told you, man. 2020 Part 2 is happening.
We're in phase 34 of New York State opening up, guys.
We're 34. It just keeps going back one.
Yeah, no, it's sad, and I still want to go to E3, but I really... Yeah, I want to... Garuga Mesh! Oh my, that's... You know what? I'm going to pull that up right now. Sakura-kan. This will be a funny haha that we can see.
While he's pulling that up, I'm going to just jump ahead and talk about everything that we want to talk about. I see the first person who has his massive ego writing his name up on top is also the one who's preoccupied at the moment.
Oh, but guess what? This preoccupied guy can wait for Sakura-kan. Let's talk about what I want to talk about. By the way, this is the whatever you want to talk about section.
Yeah.
Where we talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. I want to talk about the Ghost of Tsushima. It's, I think, the swan song, as a lot of people refer to it as, of the PlayStation 4. Hence, it's the last game that's going to come out for the, not last game, but last exclusive, first party, that's coming out for PlayStation 4, and I haven't played it, but I don't know, I just wanted to talk about it. It seems like it's really good.
I also played it. I played it.
Yeah, so Matt's played it.
I like it a lot.
I am really enjoying it. I'm only about an hour in. I'm really, really liking it.
Yep. It's one of those games where the gameplay's like, it has a great feel. And I haven't even played like most of the main missions. I've just been going around the island. It's just a lot of fun.
I've been doing. It's having graduated now with my degree. It's actually pretty historically accurate. I could give it that. Its combat is very, very good. I can back that up too. It's the only combat I would say it's better right now. Then is probably like only combat better is the Arkham series. I mean, that combat was very fluid. It was very flowed, and same goes for here. The combat here is very, but it flows very, very well.
And it's
gorgeous game.
Yeah, it's flashy when it comes to the combat. It's like
I heard that, Matt. I heard you about to slip into the same joke. They really want to make you feel
more, Batman. God.
Yeah, no.
I'm not IGN.
Have you done any of the like retaking of areas and like that, like trying to resettle areas?
The camps?
Because I resettled a dojo on accident, and honestly, it was phenomenal. Like you have that one-on-one duel at the very end of it, with the commander, and I got my ass handed to me the first time. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this, and like this duel, I was like, oh shit, I gotta fight him again because it was like it just spawns you back in there, and I just destroyed him, and I was like, oh shit. Like
that's one thing that I love about this game is what you notice with a lot of games is like you can't there's like always like a level behind like certain parts of a game. So like Assassin's Creed, I think the last one's like, oh, you can't fight this guy because you need this armor and you need this kind of weapon. And Ghost of Tsushima, they just say, hey, you want to go fight this guy? Go ahead. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but like it gives you freedom to do whatever you want.
It's interesting because Sucker Punch is coming from making the Infamous games, and those weren't like they were a lot more like power and like AoE focused instead of like.
I liked Second Son though. I thought.
I definitely liked the game.
Second Son, I platinum trophied it. But even before that, they went and made the Sly Cooper games, and I loved the Sly Cooper games. That was my childhood growing up on those. A lot of people had Ratchet and Clank or Jack and Dexter. For me, it was the Sly Cooper games. And I platinum trophied Sly 3 too, so it's just like, I don't know what it is, but they make really, really good games that I just love.
Yeah, it's just impressive, like, how quickly they change styles, I like to think.
So yeah, good game.
Yeah, good game. Yeah.
Good game.
You get the LODcast seal of approval of good game.
Yeah. We'll put that on the screen right now for whoever's listening. Good game.
Good game.
No, Eric, your turn.
Far Cry 6 leaked. And, I mean, it leaked and then got announced. So, I don't know. I think it's a little too soon. And it looks very generic. Like, I like having, I can't remember, actor who's like the main villain.
Is now, from Better Call Saul.
Yeah, and I think that's a great plan because I love him as an actor.
So before you continue, I haven't seen the trailer, so could you describe it to the audience and me as well?
I didn't watch the trailer. I just watched the leak.
I saw the trailer. I can explain it.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
In classic announced trailer fashion, there's no gameplay. It just shows,
cinematic.
It's a cinematic. So on the cover, have you seen the cover?
No, I have not. I'm probably just gonna look it up right now.
So yeah,
on the cover, just some old guy with his hands. He's Bidening a little kid, essentially.
Yeah,
that child is rumored.
It's yeah. The rumors is that kid's Voss and is from Far Cry 3. Like the guy from Far Cry 3.
So this old dude's bidening Boston from Far Cry 3.
I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah. But the trailer basically opens up and the bad guy's talking about bad guy things, and then he gives his son a grenade and says, "Oh, I'm a bad guy. Hold the grenade, but don't drop the pin until I say the most important part of my evil speech." And then they're like, "We're bad guys. It's what we do.
Very cool.
We do the thing because we think it's good, and if they don't think so, then poor them."
Just looks like another generic Far Cry.
I'm expecting it to be.
Like
after 3, they're all the same. So it's always like, look at the quirky, wacky villain. He kills his own men because that means he's a bad guy.
And you gotta figure out that really he's not that bad, because the more you find out, the people you're siding with are terrible people.
Yeah, he's a hero of his own story. That's their only fucking story element that they pull off. They just have to do it.
This looks so generic, and that's the thing. Like, there's not a lot I feel like that's new when it comes to these games.
See, I'm not expecting much from Far Cry. The games have just been. They've been Assassin's Creed, but they've been Ubisoft games since, 4.
They've been Ubisoft.
Yeah. They make money.
Yeah, but who knows for how long. Like, they need to be Assassin's Creed, where they need to have a really big flop to, like...
They do.
Come back and...
Did Primal make that much money for not to be
Primal was... I remember Primal being like...
I hate Primal.
Yeah, I heard it not being all that great. I remember like they got a shit ton of YouTubers to like cover it and say, "Wow, this game is crazy. The heroes are amazing. The villain, he's so unique."
The villain's talking about how much he's a villain.
He's the bad guy. He's doing bad guy things.
He's the bad guy, but then you start to understand him. Like that shit's getting so old. Just Ubisoft, when it comes to their villains, they're just so fucking boring. Like, at least Voss was kind of interesting.
And then he wasn't even the main villain.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Far Cry 3, but you should have already played Far Cry 3, realistically.
Yeah. It's like, that game's like 10 years old. So, yeah, he's not even the main villain because he fucking dies. Spoiler alert.
Speaking of spoiler alert, hey... Want to take it away, Mr. Neil Cuckman?
You've probably already threaded together from the way I've been talking about the gaming industry as of this podcast. I want to talk about Neil Druckmann.
Yay!
And as you all know, if you've been watching Big E's channel, Last of Us 2 came out, and it was not that greatest of games to ever come out. And that's really not what I want to talk about. I want to actually bring up with you guys Neil Druckmann's reaction and how he's been very defensive. And he did an interview where he straight up says, "We knew this game was going to do terrible. We just did it anyways." I want to bring up how the gaming industry, to a point nowadays, genuinely believes they don't need to market to gamers. And they could just do whatever.
Yeah. Like,
and then expect to make money.
Hey, if the game doesn't have at least one N-word in the trailer, I as a gamer cannot buy it.
Well,
and oh my god.
When you're making a sequel to The Last of Us, which like the first Last of Us is a critically acclaimed game, and a lot of people love it.
As the game goes, obviously it has flaws, but it's pretty damn near perfect if you ask me.
Yeah, but like, if you're playing on like fucking around with like a story, like the third game maybe, but like this is the sequel to like a really like phenomenal game that like defined like the 2010s for PlayStation exclusives.
I wouldn't even say PlayStation exclusives. I remember when The Last of Us came out, it was the shit. Like. Yeah. It changed everything.
My biggest gripe with games like that is The Last of Us 2, it's not the worst game on the planet, but it's not good.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's fine, yeah. My biggest gripe is it didn't need to be made as a game. that's the biggest thing. It's like, why bother making it if it's not superb?
It's funny you say that. My biggest problem with it, and I explain this a lot, and I'll tell you this now, my review for The Last of Us 2, it's already done. It's 44 minutes long. It's very in-depth. It's insane. But my biggest issue with The Last of Us 2 is poor writing. There are certain things that'll happen just completely don't even get addressed. And I'm not going to say anything for spoiler's sake because the game did just come out. But certain things happen to characters that are pretty traumatic. Characters just like, okay, that happened, cool, let's move on. It's like, what?
I can't believe that you killed somebody I loved. It's okay, though.
No, like, I'm not even talking about the big one. The big one is, like, the obvious one. But even that didn't bother me too much. Because it, like, starts out the whole game, really. Yeah. What bothered me are, like, the side characters that I really liked. You know, there are two of them in particular on both when you're playing as Abby and when you're playing as Ellie that I'm talking about that just die and we do not address. And
I really want to talk about spoilers because there's just one thing that I fucking hate, but keep going.
Yeah, and then there's one event. I will say this is a spoiler, so you might want to, like, add a little timestamp here. And I'm going to give you a little bit of time here. When Tommy gets shot in the back of the head, how the fuck does he survive that?
Yeah,
not only that, how do they get him back to Jackson? Do they just have a brain surgeon on hand? What is going on?
That scene is the description of, like, your character in the game takes 90 shots, is fine. During cutscene, gets one shot, dies. That's the perfect description of that.
Annie and the Asian dude, what the fuck is his name?
Jesse.
They died. We don't see any reaction. Yeah. Ellie nor Abby.
Jesse gets shot in the fucking face, and then Ellie's like,
Tommy shot him right in the mouth.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck?
If I think my biggest gripe with the game is it's a zombie survival game, but I personally haven't played it, but I have watched Biggie's playthrough and review and a few other playthroughs of it, and it doesn't feel like a zombie survival game at all. What's the point?
Yeah. I think, honestly, one thing that I like more about the sequel than the first one is probably the gameplay.
Gameplay is fantastic.
The rope physics.
Great. The dodging's a little fucky, but the game is great.
Yeah.
Great if the gameplay's fine and all, but that doesn't salvage a bad game.
Yeah.
If the story writing...
My biggest issues... Yeah, it's the story. It's the story that's garbage.
So, my biggest gripe when it comes to fucking plot holes... So, by the end of the game, you go all the way to, like, fucking... Where is it? It's somewhere in California. Santa Barbara. And you finally find her, and she's about to kill her, but then she stops because there's, like, a flashback of, like, Joel fucking playing a guitar or some shit. Like, I get what you're trying to do. Like, oh, revenge is bad, but nothing else in the game sets up that kind of, like, moral.
I agree with you. I actually made a gripe about that.
It just cuts right in. I'm just like, when the fuck was that brought up before? She's just a fucking, like...
It was supposed to show that, like, Abby and Lev are, like, they're, like, how Joel and Ellie were when they were that young, thing. And it's, like...
There should have been...
kind of, like, showing how far Ellie has fallen, in a sense.
We can extrapolate all we want, but the point of the thing is, it's poorly done to a point where it just feels like you threw in the scene just to have lip service.
I like I said earlier, like we were talking, I was very harsh in my initial review. My initial review, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I was like, that's it. Like that game was garbage. But then after speaking with some people and, like, going back to make the actual in-depth review I usually do, like, you know what? I did have a lot of fun playing this game, and there are moments where I was genuinely excited. Like when you're about to confront Mel and Owen, that's something that was like, fuck yeah, I can't wait to do this.
Oh, I enjoyed
it.
Like all that
I spoke with a buddy of mine, I actually play games with on my channel a lot too, and he was like, it's a 9.5 out of 10. It's perfect. And I'm like, hold up here.
It's a solid 7.
No, it's not.
But, like, I think the thing that I wanted to bring up mostly with all this is, the game aside, Neil Druckmann's reaction has been piss poor to a point where he's just openly attacking gamers, calling out anyone who's telling him that, no, you need to do better as transphobe or this phobe. And it's gotten to a point where I don't really care if you're making a piece of media to push a piece of agenda, as long as it's done well. And I'll point out there's a very SJW piece of comic book called Excellence, and it is a beautifully done comic. I read the shit out of it, and I don't agree with anything that they're pushing. However, that's the proper way of pushing an agenda. This is just you're going out of your way to attack people who are telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, outside the game, I don't like connecting the art with the artist necessarily, unless it's needed.
That, but it's at a point where a lot of the industry does not take critique, period.
Well,
and we as consumers have to tell them, no, you need to give us...
Think about it this way. So, I wouldn't even say this is me playing devil's advocate. They wanted to... Neil wanted to make a game, and he did it. That's integrity right there.
The thing is not integrity.
But there's a lot that came out with Naughty Dog. The fact that like 70% of the company resigned before the game came out, that just goes to show that your industry practice as a whole is toxic.
Yeah, no.
You're really pushing people to the brink.
I don't think anyone stops him.
Shit. Period.
I think it's the Rian Johnson situation. Just like with Star Wars The Last Jedi, if the guy, like, you get the guy the role as director, just because he can direct the game doesn't mean that he should be head writer.
Exactly.
True.
But the thing is, nowadays, the way that it is in most of our entertainment industries, if somebody worms their way in, has nothing to do with it, doesn't really give a shit about it, they'll corrupt it just because they can.
Yeah.
And I think as consumers, it's our responsibility to start calling this shit out.
Interesting.
We have this culture where if you say that something's bad that involves those kind of topics that The Last of Us had, you're automatically like the worst person.
Your Twitter canceled.
What are they gonna look, guys? What are they gonna do if you just ignore them?
Well, I don't know what they're gonna do, but it looks like we have to move on. Matt, what's your topic?
We're going to talk about financial bankruptcy.
Interest.
Valorant and their release and how they release skins and the prices and how I fucking hate them.
Oh yeah, so Valorant, I think they had a thing they released recently. It was their new skin pack, and how much was it? Like $80 or something?
Yeah,
insane.
Yeah, $80 for how many guns? And it was.
It wasn't even for like some of the good guns either.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
It was the $80 for a skin pack. Like, what the hell? Like, I get CS:GO skins are expensive, but they have a marketplace to like deal with it. But like, Valorant doesn't have a marketplace. Like, what the hell, Tencent? What are you doing? Tencent, friend. My homie, I get you own most of the game industry at this point, but...
Another problem with it also is even if you want to like just get one thing... So like, let's say you buy points prior, right? So you have points lined up, and then you have like... Let's say you want the AK, or like the which is basically the Vandal. So let's say you want the Vandal skin, but you don't, but you only need like 50 more credits. You can't even buy like 50 or like 100. There's no like, it's either you get like $2 worth or you go, it's like 2 to 10. And then it just goes up from there.
Jesus.
So there's like, when you want to buy currency, it's like you're going to spend a fuck ton of money no matter what.
See,
problem.
It's interesting you say that, and it's interesting I introduced Tencent in the first place, because they're the ones who are like pushing for all this loot box stuff, because they also own parts of Activision. I feel like, really, it's just, you're right, it's just about making money, but the thing is, Tencent isn't going bankrupt anytime soon. It's just greed at this point. But speaking of which, now that we're out of that, we can move on to the last section, because God, is the podcast overtime. The From the Community section, otherwise known as the lightning round, which we in no way made up on the spot while we were discussing the last bit of the previous section. Matt, you want to ask the questions?
Yeah, so what does everyone think? So 2 games came out recently, SpongeBob Battle of Bikini Bottom and Ghost of Tsushima. I saw some reviews saying that there's too much gameplay, not much story, didn't like it. What do you guys think of that?
My one answer is Skyrim. Fuck you.
I too hate games that are worth my money. I want to be robbed. Thank you.
Alright, so, serious answer.
Seriously, that's a dumbass.
I honestly don't care. Like, if the game is too much game, it was designed to be like that, usually. And if it's too much story, yeah. If you
enjoy it, you enjoy it. If you don't, you don't. That's it.
Pretty much. What do you think, Nathaniel?
They're called video games. So,
you play the game!
yeah, like, you know what you're getting into.
Sorry, not every game is going to be like The Last of Us or like Uncharted. Fuck off. Every game is going to be extremely story-driven. There are games that are like Skyrim that have 700 hours worth of vanilla gameplay because you decided you're going to be a city guard one day and chop wood.
Everyone's trying to be Naughty Dog when it comes to story, so story just like overthrows the whole game.
No, guys,
you need to have good gameplay.
Every game henceforth is just going to be nothing more than QuickTime events with story in the background.
Oh, speaking of QuickTime events, that's the next question.
Are we talking about... I don't know, have you guys seen the trailer to this new game made by Sony called Gamer Girl?
I have.
So, it's not like Sony from PlayStation, it's like Sony Entertainment, like they make the movies.
Oh no!
It's actually free. It's free. I didn't download it because it looks stupid, but it's free right now. I'm pretty sure. The month.
Gamer Girl is you play as a Twitch admin, and you basically
you get to decide if the girl gets fucking diddled and murdered.
It's really fucked up.
Oh, yo, no, not that. I'm thinking of something else.
You play as a Twitch mod. And she's like, oh, do I answer this phone call on stream? And then you just pick yes or no. And it's like, oh, do I go in the right door or the left door?
Do I go towards the dark, scary alley with the man who's holding a gun? Or do I go towards the taxi?
You're basically playing as an incel.
It's great.
And you're controlling the girl the whole time.
I think the game is gonna do great. You know, there's an audience that clearly wants to play it.
They took down the trailer in like 15 minutes after it came out. Yeah. Or would you rather... What? Would you rather get abducted by aliens or possessed by a demon?
That's my question.
I think...
I mean, this is the audience's question.
I think that being possessed by a demon would be better, because, like, then you could just... It depends on the type of demon. I'd prefer one that would just like...
I would totally rather get abducted by aliens.
Yeah, me too. Actually, wait. Is the probe involved?
You don't know.
Definitely.
Same way as you don't know how the demon's possessing you. All you know, it could be getting penetrated in the ass or something.
Yeah, but you pretty much know that with the aliens too, though.
Yeah.
You don't know that. That's
with a demon... demon...
What if you get abducted and they're like, dude, why does everyone think we get, like, probes in the ass? We just want to chill out and, like... hang out. Ask questions about the Earth.
Let's be honest. If you were about to abduct somebody, would you not probe them in the ass?
I don't know, but we'll find out in Gamer Girl. Don't worry.
He's plugged there.
Thank you.
See, I think that getting possessed by a demon would be better. Because what if it just takes over your life and like makes you have a better life?
Yeah, I doubt that. It's a demon. You're inviting things.
And if I spit out, and if I like throw out my bile every 2 seconds, like spitting it on people, at least it'll look cool, right?
But if you're possessed, would you not know that you're possessed?
I don't know how it works. Maybe I get thrown in limbo for the rest of eternity.
Maybe. Honestly, I'm just gonna go with abducted by aliens because it's like a 50-50 shot of whether you're getting something up your ass.
Right, so we got 2-1 in favor of aliens. what Fox, what's your what's your
You know, I think with the demons, there's the whole I don't know if he's gonna probe me up the ass, but with the aliens, I probably know he's gonna probe me in the ass. So I'm gonna go with certainty. I'm gonna go with the alien.
You guys are no fun. You won't be spitting out bile anytime soon.
don't want?
All right, and now on to our.
I'm gonna ask the last question because of everything that has just been answered for me. Have you boys accepted Jesus into your life?
God's not dead. He's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion.
No, I'm an atheist. Fuck off. Not accepting him.
You should watch all 3 God's Not Dead movies with us, Eric. You'll love it.
I have the app. And I wrote a review and I sent it to the production company that makes the movies.
Oh, his review was pretty funny.
I basically said, "Oh, my grandson loved it. It's really good."
All right, I think we've had enough fun for today.
And thank you for watching. This is probably the last episode you'll watch. We're being canceled. Goodbye.
Yup.
No, but seriously, thanks for tuning in, guys. For whoever watches this, it took us a lot to get this on the road.
Don't worry, I'll make videos soon.
Yeah, Matt's gonna start making video game lore that he just pulls out of his ass.
Yeah.
He's gonna start making game girl lore.
Yep, Ash will help.
Yeah.
It's gonna be based off of just fake video game lore.
Did you know that Doom Guy is actually just BJ Blazkowicz from Doom Eternal?
Dude, shut up. You know that's gonna be a thing now.
The thing is, it probably will be at some point.
I think it already is.
But yeah, no, thanks for watching, guys. It took us a while to get this on the road. Hopefully you'll... I don't know when this cast is going to come out. Depends how long it takes me to edit it. I don't think I'll need to edit it that much. But yeah, thanks for watching. It's been fun. We'll see you around, boys.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.